herO versus Solar, and this is an old one. Solar and herO have faced off many times, and back in Heart of the Swarm, I remember them both being some of the more active and dominant Korean players in the quote-unquote global scene. So that, for those who don't remember, back in the day there was a bit of a different region look. There was WCS Premier League for North America and Europe, and there was GSL, but there were also these supplemental tournaments like IEMs and DreamHacks. And it was these events which were open and global to all players, not just from the United States or from Europe, but also from Korea. And Korea didn't really send out a lot of players. You know, Kespa were very strict. They were very strict with who they with what they allowed their players to do. The contracts were very restrictive, unfortunately. But there were a couple of players that would be sent out from specific teams, those being Solar from Samsung Galaxy and herO from CJ Entus. They would be quite frequent in these IEMs, as opposed to like your Flashes or your Marus, for example, or Dark, who would never leave Korea. They would just stay in these GSL tournaments and only go out for like your BlizzCons and IEM Katowice, for example. So yeah, like both herO and Solar were very active in the kind of premier tournament circuit, and they faced off quite a lot of times. They are both IEM champions. So here we go. They're facing off again all these years later. Feels good, man. Feels good. And here we go. All these years later, in a different expansion, in a different time. Fun fact, both of these players are now married as well. That's how long it's been. It's crazy. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Babylon, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Onside Gaming. It is Solar. Oh, that is the wrong team logo. I will fix that. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Babylon, we have his opponent, the South Korean Protoss player representing CranKy Gaming. It is herO. As I quickly fix the logo. And of course, if you're in the chat and if you're hearing this message, predictions are currently open for who you think will win this series. It's going to be a best of 5, a ZVP between these two lovely players, and you can place your bets. You can put your money on the line. I say money, you can put your channel points on the line on who you think is going to come out on top. Oh my god. As we see a hatch gas pool. A hatch gas pool opener from Solar, forced to take the unnatural natural, nothing too crazy coming out from our Zerg player. Meanwhile, herO likewise going for a gate expand. This is what we would be expecting. I'm not aware of what the vetoes are, unfortunately. I'm not entirely sure what did transpire, what got vetoed and what didn't. I imagine Neo Humanity and Altitude, those are like the standard vetoes, but we'll see. As so far, herO is just being as annoying as possible with this probe. Just trying to force some inefficient mining. Be a thorn in Solar's side. And we'll see what herO opens up with. So, even though herO did popularize the herO style of PvZ, it was named after himself last year, which was Triple Oracle into Blink Stalkers, and he used it to great effect. It's a style that has been falling off a little bit. We still see it every now and then in a series, but it isn't as popular and as common as it once was. The meta has slowly been shifting off in a different direction. We have been seeing a lot more Charge Lot Archon based compositions instead, and I think that's a reaction to the blind +1 melee Hydra style that has been countering the +1 Blink Stalkers. So yeah, because of that, we have seen a bit of a different dynamic played out. We have seen Protoss players adjust to the Zergs, and as a result, like, this matchup is still a little bit in flux. As we see Solar going for his own third base, we see herO just, you know, trying to threaten and be a little bit annoying here with these adepts. Does keep the first adept alive. Second adept is going to be joining up as well, so he has that one-shot potential on drones, and he's trying to catch any transferring workers between the main and the third. Of course, behind this, we do have a Stargate opener from herO. Oracle is going to be coming out, the first of many, I assume. Oh. Oh, as the Adepts do commit to a Shade into the main base, and they get caught out. The first Adept goes down, and so will the second. Ooh. The wisest of choices there from herO. With the death of those Adepts, that means that this third base is going to be that much more vulnerable when herO does throw it down, because he won't have anywhere near as many Adepts protecting it. Lings are making their way, and for the time being, no Adepts at all at the third. Meanwhile, the first Oracle does zoom across the map. The Spore isn't done yet, so one drone gets picked off, but does take a lot of hull damage. Meanwhile, the Lings have shown up here at the third base. herO being punished for his Shade earlier, being punished for losing those Adepts. Are we going to be seeing a cancel? No cancel, but the base does get quite low, and it can be abused a little bit later on. Solo just going to be droning behind this, throwing down his Evo Chamber. This Evo Chamber, I imagine, is going to be for +1 melee. We'll see. As herO is going for his triple Oracle opener. 2 Oracles across the map, 1 Oracle back at home to defend. With this, he can harass, he can one-shot workers, and he can also defend this third base. The reason why it's, again, the meta, the standard opener here for PvZ. The most economic opener, I should say. As you see here, trying to dive on in, and it looks like he's going to be able to get a kill on one of these queens. Very nicely done. Does take a little hull damage, but does keep the Oracles alive, and they can regenerate those shields. Meanwhile, behind this, we do have that Twilight Council. We are delaying our Forge, though, so... Oh, let's go, mate. We're going to be seeing Blink as we have a 4th Oracle on the way. You love to see it. Ugh. No, sorry. Charge instead. Interesting choice here. Okay, so I assumed it was going to be Blink, because if we have a 4th Oracle, that means that we have that much more DPS in the air to protect the Stalkers from Lings rounds, right? Which is what we're seeing. We have +1 melee Lings on the way from Solar, and he's banking up a lot of Lings. So I just assumed that they would come hand in hand, but instead we have a 5th Oracle on the way. And we have Charge as well. This is very unorthodox. This is going to be pretty committed. herO hasn't taken his gases at his third. He has his gases at his natural, but yeah, this gas is just going to be used for Oracles, as he's going to be prioritizing nothing but Zealots, and I feel like he's going to be hitting a strong timing with this. Oh. Meanwhile, no shield battery behind this Stalker, but we don't see a punish as the Lings are forced back. Oh, it looks like 1 Oracle actually went down across the map, so herO losing a little bit of a potential there. I feel like these Oracles, we want to bank them up as much as we can. And we are taking the rest of our gases, so I guess we are going into Charge Archon. I guess we should be seeing a Templar Archives. Right? There we go. Okay. Templar Archives is on the way, and here we go. The Oracles have revealed themselves to the Lings. herO is rushing across the map with everything he has, looking to dive upon these queens. We have 6 queens in total. Honestly, that's not a lot. That is not a lot, and that may not be enough here, as herO is looking to break into the natural. How good are the transfuses? We are running on now. The first queen goes down. The second queen goes down. Can we get a 3rd and 4th? Oh. 3rd and 4th queens as well, but I think that is going to be it. Maybe we can get 1 more queen. The Zealots are not enough to break on through. At the same time, Lings did go for a counterattack, and they do get 5 probes. Ooh. Was that worth it in the end for herO? I'm sure he wanted to snowball, and I'm sure he wanted to maybe break on through and do more damage. I mean, he wasn't all in. He does have a transition point, and Archons are already going to be morphed in. Never mind, we're going for Storm. Oh my god. Never mind. We're going to be taking up in a bit of a different direction. Storm is on the way. We're going to be holding onto these High Templar for as long as we can. If they're not forced to morph into Archons, we're going to have so many Storms available for this push. Meanwhile, Solar did sneak out a Spire, so he's going to be going for Mutus here. I do like this choice, especially because we have a lack of Blink Stalkers to keep up with this. They do get spotted. Phoenix production has commenced, but a little bit too late, and the High Templar are forced to morph into Archons. Oh, we canceled Storm. Oh my god. Very quick reaction there out of herO. Switching gears entirely, getting out of Storm and into Archons. Oof. Meanwhile, the Muta's getting a lot of damage done. 5 more probes go down. Solar with a lot of map control here. He's coming in with a big push with these roaches and lings. Thinking better of it. Gonna be pulling back. And herO from here is going to be going into Charge Lot Archon. He's throwing down a second Stargate for double Phoenix production. I think this is a wise choice, especially because his opponent does have quite a lot of mutas. We also have Blink on the way. Oh. Unfortunately, because herO is in the middle of teching up, of transitioning his tech, he's kind of vulnerable right now. His entire army is distracted by these mutas, and now in comes the Ling Roach. Oh, he's going to be able to warp in, but 4 more probes go down. herO, his economy just constantly being harassed. He's able to maintain a decent worker count, but herO just hasn't been able to get a 4th up. As the mutas, they just find even more damage, and this may just be too much. herO is being picked apart left and right. The Archon's trying to keep up here with the Prism Micro, but it's just not going to be enough here. This has gotten out of control. 32 probes have gone down, basically the entire mineral line at the natural base, and we still have a standing ground army that's just going in for even more. This is the downside of avoiding Blink and delaying it for this long. herO just doesn't have the mobility to keep up with these mutas. The Zealots do nothing. The Prism, no! The Prism gets picked off with an Archon inside, and that may just be it. It's go time for Solar. Oh, Stasis Trap is going to catch a lot of those roaches, but the mutas are going uncontested. They pick off the Zealots. They pick off the Immortals. Even the Phoenixes. GG gets called, and Solar takes game 1 in a dominating fashion. Wow. Correctly identifying, I don't know how he did, but identifying that, of course, there wasn't really going to be an answer for those mutas for a long time. herO going for charge instead, going for a really weird build where he goes for a charge lot, like 5 to 6 Oracle timing. And it just didn't work out for him. The power of the muta. The power of the muta when we've got like charge lot and oracles, you know? Very limited anti-air. Again, we saw that herO was trying to rush into Storm as well, forced to quickly cancel Storm and morph in all those Archons. So herO getting caught with his pants down and being punished for his overall build, for his overall style there in game 1. GG. GG. And of course, snowballs can snowball quite quickly. Speaking of snowballing, Rowdy. Shout out to Rowdy in the chat. A good friend, and a fellow Zerg player as well. Rowdy, when are you streaming? When is the Rowdy stream? Yeah, welcome Donge in the chat as well. Welcome, welcome. Hope everyone in the chat is doing well, doing well. This is one of the few tournaments that we can actually stream without a delay, by the way. Very rare, very rare. Usually we do have at least a 2-minute delay going on. As we are going to be continuing on, getting into game 2. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the South Korean Zerg player, representing Onside Gaming and currently up 1-0 in this best of 5 grand finals. It is Solar. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss representing Dragon KyZ Gaming. It is herO. And again, I don't want to like extrapolate too much from game number 1 just because herO went for a very unusual and very unorthodox build that is not standard, and we are not going to see it again this series. Going for like a 6 Oracle charge timing is not something that we're going to be seeing again, especially after it kind of fell on its face in game number 1. So because of that, I'm sure herO isn't too deterred after game 1. I'm sure he's like, you know, I was just trying to be a little bit sneaky. I was just trying to be a little bit cheeky. And he can definitely recover and make a series out of this. As Solar does go for the hatch gas pool back at home. Everything looking standard here. Forced to take the unnatural natural as to be expected. And yeah, we're going to be getting into this. Now the real question is, from here, what are we going to be seeing from herO? We are an Ancient Cistern, a very large map. It would make sense to go triple Oracle into Blink Stalkers this game, or at least triple Oracle into +1 charge. Either or wouldn't be bad. Wouldn't be bad at all. From the side of Solar, Mutas would be good on Ancient Cistern as well, just because of how large it is. But unfortunately, because he kind of showed his hand in game 1, I don't know if we're really going to be seeing that in game 2. I wouldn't say we're not going to be seeing it this series, but yeah, commitment into Mutas, it can be a difficult thing to pull off multiple times, like concurrently, like in a row in a series, just because your opponent is going to be that much more adept at scouting. Oof. Scouting, responding, and preparing. Until then, though, oh, herO actually mixing things up again. I assumed he would go for a triple Oracle opener, but no Stargate at all. He's going for a Twilight Council instead. Interesting. We'll keep an eye on these gases. We are pulling out of gas. We are going to be seeing Glaive Adepts. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. Now, the question is, what variant of Glaive Adepts? Is it going to be triple gateway, 3 gates, or is it going to be 4 gates? Or are we going to go all in and go 6 gates? That's the question. We'll see how committed herO is going to be. Of course, 3 gates is just light pressure, and you can expand behind it. 4 gate is a little more committed, and there's a little more onus on you to deal damage. You can still transition, but it's a harder transition. As we have confirmation, of course, it is going to be Glaives. The tell for that is to pull out of gas. Again, you don't need 6 probes mining gas at once. You only need 4 to be able to pull this off efficiently. As for the time being, 2 gates are thrown down, 3 gates in total. So a more economic... Oh, no, never mind. I was going to say a lot more economic variant of this. You can expand behind it, but no, never mind. We do have a 4th gateway as well as the robo thrown down. So herO going to be quite committed here with this. He's taking 2 more gases. I think he's looking to go 4-gate Glaives and throw down a Bay relatively quickly after this as well to get into fast disruptors. We'll see, we'll see. As he's going to be pulling back into his gases. We do see an Overlord slipping on into the main base to scout, and it is going to confirm the Twilight Council is going to see it researching as well, so Solar is going to be able to piece this all together. We already have a Roach Warren in production back at home, and Lings are on the way as well. Solar is cutting drones here at 39, which is a nice number to cut drones. Is nice indeed. From here, he should be making nothing but Lings. He's droning up a little bit. Has to be careful not to over-drone. He's going to be going up to 40 drones. Not bad. And there it is. So because he threw down these additional gases, I assumed that there would be a fast Bay into disruptors, and that's exactly what we're seeing here from herO. So he is going to be transitioning. With this, he is going to have an answer to these roaches. And here we go, the Adepts are shading across the map. We do have the Prism not too far behind this. Again, herO needs to deal damage with this, but not necessarily with the first wave of Glaive Adepts. He is going to have more Warpins behind this. Just going to be threatening for now. We do see the Lings of Solar trying to go for a counterattack, but the wall is a wall. herO is safe and sound. He's just looking whether or not there's going to be a 3rd base. And there we go. He may even force a defensive Warpin as well. The Adepts are going to be threatening a shade in towards the natural. They're headed towards the 3rd instead. Don't commit to the shade. Wise choice. Meanwhile, we do have a Warpin back at home just to hold on. Meanwhile, the Prism abandons the Adepts because the Prism is going back home to pick up that Disruptor. As the Disruptor is on the way. Oof. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting. We see herO transitioning, throwing down his 3rd base. He typically is going to be vulnerable to a Roach counterattack, but again, because we have Disruptors, we're safe. Not just Disruptors, we're going for Warp Prism speed, so this means that herO can be aggressive and go for Disruptor harass across the map. Here we go. He's just waiting for his second disruptor before he moves out. Looking at the vision of Solar, I believe he hasn't seen this, and yep, he hasn't seen the bay. He hasn't seen what the disruptor is up. What has been produced. He does get eyes on the third base though, so he knows that he is safe to drone. He doesn't know that he's, has to keep an eye out for these disruptors. Oh boy, and the first shots are going to be the biggest here to try and surprise his opponent. Speed has been revealed. Now Solar is aware of what's going on. Oh, the Queens come in to zone away those disruptors. Meanwhile, the Adepts have returned in greater numbers, looking to threaten some shades. Here we go, the Prism going all the way into the main base. The Adepts threatening a shade in towards the natural as well. Oh, the Queens have done a great job of dealing damage to this Prism, but it has managed to survive. Oh, hasn't gone for any drops yet. Up! He's going for it! Oh, Nova's going to be going off and they will connect on a Queen. They only get one Queen for the troubles, and now it's go time for Solar. He's going to dive on top of this army. The Prism goes down! No, the Prism gets focused down with both disruptors inside. Mate, that may just be it. A massive loss there for herO. And without those disruptors, these Adepts can't really hold a handle to this army. herO has to get the hell out of here. Ay. As soon as Roach Speed finishes, Solar can go for a counterattack. We see more Adepts coming across the map, 2 more disruptors as well. herO doesn't want to let up the aggression. He doesn't want to give Solar map control. Blink is going to finish. Oh boy, here we go. Another Nova going off does only connect with a single Ravager. Second Nova goes off, does connect with a decent amount of Roaches. Not too bad. But a lot of Adepts are going down. Oh, Lings, they know where they're needed. Not at home, across the map. Instead, the third base is barely saturated. herO is going all in. Only 3 probes here. The third is just for show. Ooh, meanwhile, massive purification Novas do connect. And with this all in, herO is looking to break the 4th base. That's okay. We can afford to lose the 4th. Nova! Oh, last second splits there, but without our Lings, we don't have any support for the Roaches. The Lings, though, they find their way into the main base and the natural. We force a warp in defensively back at home. We have a Prism? No, we don't. We actually can't reinforce across the map. Another Nova is going to be connecting. And the 4th base goes down. Meanwhile, the Adepts commit to the shade as well. Drones are falling left and right. herO is pulling this off. Slowly but surely. Oh, just a couple more Novas and he can do this, but it looks like all the Adepts are cleaned up. Solar still maintains a decent drone count. Nice splits as well. Up. Oof. Again, we only have 2 disruptors to work with, and it looks like Solar has enough momentum here to push this back, and it looks like he takes down the disruptor. Oh, he wants the second disruptor. He wants it. Yo, and he's gonna get it as well. Looking at the unit tab, herO only has Blink Stalkers remaining. That's it. That's all he's got. Blink Stalkers and slow warp-ins. He's trading relatively well. The Blinks are pretty damn good, but Blink Stalkers can only take you so far. Proxy Pylon has been taken out. herO cannot reinforce across the map. He is probing though, despite the fact that he was pretty committed earlier. He is making 3 probes at a time. He has recognized that he cannot kill Solar, so he's backing off and he's macroing instead. Ooh. And Solar did take a lot of losses, so he has to rebuild his 4th. He has to re-drone as well. He lost a lot of workers here at the natural. If he hadn't lost all those workers, he could probably maintain his momentum and go for a counterattack and break the 3rd. But because he lost so many workers, he has to re-drone, he has to re-establish himself, working on his upgrades. We are going to have a little bit of a lull in the action here. Both players are going to be licking their wounds. And after all of that, I do think that herO's in a pretty good position. He's taking a 4th base as we speak, at the same time as Solar's taking a 4th. herO overtakes Solar in the worker count. We're getting into a 2nd robot for double disruptor production. Like, herO is not looking too bad right now. Gonna be losing a couple of probes. The 4th base gets scouted. And now the pressure is gonna be on Solar. He's gonna be knowing now that he is behind. Oh boy, but he can't really push out, not yet. He's still waiting for his upgrades to kick in. He's waiting for the rest of his army to be refined as well. I think taking fights on his side of the map is probably the way to go. As we have 3 disruptors showing up here on the front lines. Ooh. Good purification over connects, and a good Nova is all we need. As herO's pushing on forward once again, looking to overwhelm with his Stalkers. Lings are coming in to reinforce, but it's not going to be enough. We have so many disruptors available. Ay, ay, ay. And herO has done it. GG gets called. herO ties up the series 1-1. With once again a really interesting take on 4-gate glaives. It started with 4-gate glaives. He got really fast gases. He got a really fast bay as well. And he got a 3rd base after he backed off, but the 3rd was only for show. Like, he was still intending to commit to a 2-base push. He fumbled the execution pretty hard. Like, Solar did snipe that War Prism very nicely. And he shut down a lot of what herO was doing, but the follow-up Adept push got him back into it. Ay, ay, ay. And now we are getting into game number 3. We are looking to see who takes a lead in this series, who has a lead moving on in this best of 5. It's going to have the momentum. Oh, in these finals. As I'm just excited to see what herO's up to. Like, even though I'm a Zerg player, I'm always really fascinated by how herO plays, because like, it's because he has such good control. And like, I say that after he lost a Prism full of disruptors, I know, but like, in general, he does have like the best micro in the entire world when it comes to Protoss players out there. And he has such a unique kind of mindset when it comes to builds and openers and how he plays the game. That's why he was able to innovate and kind of lead the charge in how the PvZ and PvT meta was for such a long time. Even that last game was really unique. But we'll see how this goes, as we are now getting into game number 3 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Dragon Scales. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing On-Site Gaming. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss representing CranKy Gaming. It is herO. The game's looking spicy, so they have been spicy. Mate, you put herO in a series, doesn't matter if it's a PvZ, PvT, or PvP, you're gonna get some spice in your life, mate. Vanilla is not what you're gonna be seeing. But yeah, it's just really cool the twists and turns that herO makes with his builds and with his playstyle. It can be really difficult to keep up as a Zerg player. Because again, the Zerg player is reliant a lot on scouting and reacting to what the Protoss is up to, but because herO is so unorthodox, because he is so willing to explore new ground and try different things, it can just be really difficult to keep up and know what needs to be done, know when you're safe to drone, know when it's time to make lings and roaches, to go for counterattacks, when you're safe, when you're not. herO just makes it so difficult to recognize all those things. herO should be in the Old Spice commercials, yeah. Hello, Emperor Fooble, hello. Welcome to the stream. As we're getting some pretty standard openers here, Solar is able to pull something off that very few Zerg players can do, and that is take the natural. You love to see it. Is able to actually expand where he wants to. As he goes for a hatch gas pull, herO on the other side of things just going for a standard gate expand as well. I'm just curious to see what he opens up with. Game 1, he went for a Stargate opener. Game 2, he went for a Twilight Council. Game 3, are we going to go for the trifecta? Are we going for a robo? It looks like we will not, as we have another Twilight Council opener. So signs of aggression from herO once again. Ooh. Now, what will be done with this Twilight Council? That is the question. Are we going to be pulling out of gas? Are we going to be seeing glaives once again? No, we don't pull out of gas. We go for a robo. This smells like DTs. Oh boy, I can smell the Dark Shrine. We'll see if he does go for it. As across the map, Solar is none the wiser. You know, he's just droning. He's getting his third base. Just trying to deal with the Adept across the map. As a second gate just now gets thrown down, and there it is. There is that Dark Shrine. That's what I mean, you know? There's so much variety here in herO's play. So Dark Shrine is on the way. Again, the tell for this is because of the fast robo and because we didn't pull out of gas. Just for the people wondering, you know, the difference between, you know, the different Twilight Council openers. And yeah, with this, herO is going to be looking to keep this hidden. He's got a Stalker here in the main trying to push away this Overlord. We've got another Overlord here at the natural as well. Solar hasn't been able to dive in. Solar does know it's a Twilight Council because he sees the Stalker. Typically, if you go for a Stargate, you don't make a Stalker, so he knows that at least. But behind that, he's a little bit in the dark. We see a Roach Worm being thrown down at the 4-minute mark, so this does show us that Solar is preparing for potentially glaives. The gases are revealed here at the natural, but if you recall, the gases were also revealed last game because of the Bay follow-up. And Solar is preparing back at home. He hasn't thrown down any spores yet. Oh, as I say that, there we go. Spores are on the way, both at the third base and the natural and the main. They just started, so there is going to be a window here of opportunity. In come those DTs. They have been spotted by Solar. He knows. Oh, and it looks like the spore should finish just in time. The DTs were scouted, and they do not get any damage. Oh, no, I spoke too soon. Again, the spores only cover the mineral lines, so the DTs, they want to maybe pick off a queen. Oh. Just dancing with death a little bit. Seeing what they can get done. Oh my god. As herO is doubling down, by the way, we have Blink. We have Blink, and we have 3 more DTs. Oh my god. 3 more DTs get morphed in, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, no one does this. No one rushes Blink in PvZ. That's just not a thing. Oh, but he gets scouted! Solo with an insane Link Scout. Funada herO, the wall was not a wall, and Solar sees the research here on the Dark Shrine. So he knows to prepare himself here for Blink. You love to see it. We have Pneumatized Carapace on the way, Overlord speed, so that Overseers can be that much faster to keep up with those DTs as well. Right now, the Prism just threatening the main base at the same time DTs are looking to dive in, and they're going to be able to get on top of the Spore. Oh my god, the Spore is going to go down. But we have detection in this, guys. We have the Overseer. Blink is revealed, and the DTs are barely able to escape. Solar trying to hunt this down. He wants it, Poppy. He wants us around. Ooh. And even though we have detection, the DTs, yeah, they're going to be picked off. Another Blink, but it's not enough. This is an expensive loss for herO. herO did 0 economic damage. He got 1 Spore, and he got some Lings. That's it. Oof. And because of the opener, Blink is delayed. The Bay is delayed as well. All of this tech has been slowed down because of those DTs. So Solar is going to be free to drone, and he's going to be free to take a 4th. There we go. 4th is thrown down. We have our Evo chambers on the way. Solar has a lot of freedom and a lot of breathing room, as long as he's able to keep up with these DTs. And we have 2 more being morphed in. But again, Solar not too far behind with his detection, with his army. Hello? No! Kano! Ay. Kano just lagging out a little bit. Oh. Hopefully everything is okay from the side of Kano. Oh.
Game resumed.
Oh. And we are going to be getting back into this here. It looks like it was just a little bit of a blip. I believe herO is a French caster. Shout out to herO for casting in French. I think it's French. But thankfully things have settled down here. Again, just letting him know that if it becomes a consistent thing, that we may need him to leave for the sake of the players and the tournament. Oh. Meanwhile, the DTs are gonna waddle on in once again, just flexing their blink, but they just don't really get much at all. This is buying herO time though. He's keeping Solar busy. All these Lings of Roaches are tied up in the defense, and the Stalkers are finding this room to push on forward, but no, they get met with the army. Solar just in position at all times. The Ling's going for a surround. We do have a warp in as well, but before that happens, here comes the surround. Another disrupt shot goes off. Does connect on some of the roaches, but there's just too much Zerg. The Immortals, the Disruptors. There just isn't quite enough of them. The Immortal somehow survives, but I can't say the same for the Disruptor. Solar with just too much momentum in the early game just shuts down the push, and herO loses so much here. I'm afraid to look at the units lost tab. He lost 2 Disruptors and an Immortal. To Lings. No, the Lings, the wall is not a wall. The Lings, they flood into the main base once again. herO out of position. Meanwhile, the Roaches are laying siege upon the third base. Slow lots are here to defend, not even charge lots. And the main army is busy in the main. We have another Purification Nova going off, but another Disruptor goes down. These are losses we just cannot afford. And I was talking earlier about who's going to have momentum in this series, who's going to be able to take a lead in this series and take game number 3, and it looks to be Solar. The Robo goes down. We have another Disruptor, but it's just not going to be enough. GG gets called, and Solar takes game number 3. Oh. GG, having a beautiful defense against not just the DTs, but also having amazing scouting to confirm the blink on those DTs as well, just shutting them down entirely. The DTs, we saw 8 DTs morphed in, and they didn't do anything. Let's be real. they killed Lings and a Spore. That's pretty much it. They delayed everything else, Solar just shutting it all down, and now Solar is 1 game away from becoming this week's KSL champion. herO is up against the wall. He needs to win this game to force the ace match. Oh boy. I wonder why he pushed. I think herO was hoping that he was distracting the majority of the army with that prism, and hoping that he would have an opening to kill the 4th. I think he was hoping that Solar would be busy with the prism, but Solar had his army split up. He had units at the 4th base ready to buy time for the rest of the army to come in as well. Yeah, herO was trying to pull apart his opponent, but Solar, hey, just... it's too good. Or I say too good, he had just a really strong start to the game. So he just had, he never really had to replace any dead drones. Because of that, his Ling and Roach army was large enough to be split up in multiple locations. It all just kind of added up there for Solar. Ooh. And with that, we are going to be getting into our next game, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the man leading this series. One more Onomas is all he needs to become this week's champion. Representing Onside Gaming, it is Solar. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player representing CranKy Gaming. It is herO. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. herO has been very diverse with his builds this series. Every single game he's gone for something different because he can. He's good enough to do it. Usually he is, but yeah, this is also where I have to, you know, come out and say, herO, you know, if you just played standard, you'd probably win. Like, you don't have to be this fancy, Papi, you know? Just, if we see just straight up triple Oracle openers, get a regular timed third base, go into Blink Stalkers and +1, like, or even charge and +1, like, I feel like we'd be good. Like, I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's necessary to be this spicy, but, you know, herO, he's been trying to flex his skills a little bit this series, and it just hasn't worked out for him. Now, his back is up against the wall. Is he going to try something different again, or are we going to just revert to normalcy? Are we going to calm down? Are we going to see a Stargate opener and some oracles? That's what I want to see, but it's up to herO. It's up to herO, mate. Let's go. Let's go, Papi. As for the time being, hatch gas pool here from Solar, nothing too fancy. Every game has been opening up standard. This time, once again, he's able to take his natural, not forced to take any kind of weird base or anything like that. Ooh. So just a solid start here from Solar. Meanwhile, herO, the Cybercore is done, and this is what I want to be seeing. Stargate. Let's go. herO is calming down. You know, we're done with the Twilight Council openers. We're done with the Glaive Adepts. We're done with the DTs. Standard. Oh. Watch herO start a Void Ray. Watch him start a Phoenix. Watch him, like, divert entirely. We'll see. We'll see what the first unit is going to be here from the Stargate. Again, should be an Oracle, but if we see something different, then it's, you know, herO being cheeky again. We'll see. We'll see. As Solar's just going to be taking his third base on time, just scouring the map, just scouting with his lings, making sure nothing is amiss. And there we go. We do have an Oracle first here from herO. Everything is looking as standard can be. It looks like maybe herO has been humbled a little bit. He's like, okay, Solar's pretty good. I should just chill out. And yeah, seems to be the case here for herO. Should be seeing at least a double Oracle opener, as the first is moving out across the map, and there is a second right behind it. And with this, herO, of course, has the map control. He can harass the mineral lines, he can keep Solar busy, and he can also expand behind this. And there we go. There is that third base. Ooh. This is the most economic, or standard economic, safe build that you can be going for here as Protoss and PvZ. If you're a Protoss player in the chat, and if you want to know how to open up standard, then this is it. This is just it. Because we don't have just a double Oracle opener, we have a triple Oracle as well. With this, it means that herO can harass with his 2 Oracles, he can one-shot drones, and he has a third Oracle coming out in time, just in case there's a Ling run by, to protect this third and make sure that it gets up and running. So it's just very safe overall, very safe. The Oracle's getting across up, and ooh, we take a bit of hold damage as well. Solar has just been so on point with his Queen positioning and his Queen control, able to just shut this down. And of course, we're not going to be standard. herO makes 3 Oracles, gets a third base, but I don't know if you've noticed something. We have not just a Gateway Explosion behind this, we have a 4th Oracle coming out. With 4 Oracles, as we see a Stasis Trap being thrown down. Oh, we almost lose the 3rd Oracle, by the way. herO has been taking a lot of hits here. With the 4th Oracle, we have the potential to dive on Queens. This is very aggressive from herO. With this, we can just go in and go crazy. And speaking of going crazy, he goes in with his 2 Oracles in the main base. Oh my god, both Oracles are on red health, but he gets 5 drones. Very nicely done. At the same time, we have another 2 Oracles dipping in towards the third base. No Spore whatsoever, but we do have a lot of Queens. herO has to be very careful. He does have to respect this. At the same time, we do have a Link counterattack punishing herO for abandoning his third base with his Oracles. Everything is forced to turn around. The Adepts go down, a couple of Stalkers go down as well, and we are forced to activate our Pulsar Beam defensively. herO wanted to be in the face of Solar, but Solar sees an opening, he goes for it, and oh my god, Solar is not stopping. Behind this, we have Roaches in production, we have a Dropper Lord being set up as well. The shield battery isn't done, and without a shield battery, these Stalkers are getting picked off. Oh my god, herO is losing too much. Once again, herO wanted to go across the map, and with the Oracles not being at home, he loses more Stalkers. Here we go, we're going for a Queen push. Solar is cutting drones at 48. He is going all in. Lings, roaches, queens, ravagers, everything is being sent across the map. herO is going for a counterattack, and he has to be very careful not to use up too much energy offensively because we need this back at home. Revelations are thrown down, but you know what? Solar's across the map, and herO, he's not ready for this. He is not ready at all. We have gateways on the way. Stalkers are being morphed in, but oh my god, they're getting surrounded. Overcharge is popped, but this overcharge, the shield battery is going to be going down. The queens are getting dropped on the front lines as well. We do have transfuses. The creep is being spread, and this may just be it. The oracles are getting picked off one after the other. There is no shield battery. There is no overcharge. Solar. This did go unscattered. herO wasn't able to confirm the lack of drones at the natural. He only saw the saturated third base. The third is going to be going down. There is nothing left at all. The wall is not a wall. We even have some links slipping into the main. And even just killing this third is enough. Solar, if he wants to, he can just drone up, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's droning up behind this, but honestly, he could just keep on pushing. Oh, the cyber core is under threat. We do have a shield battery, but again, we need more time for an overcharge. The cyber core gets sniped. No more stalkers can be morphed in. Ay, ay, ay. Beautiful bile as well does take down that stasis trap. The immortal gets surrounded. Overcharge just a little bit too late. We can only warp in zealots. And Solar, because of his creep, he can just deny the third. He can just spread creep everywhere. Oh my god. herO trying to go for a counterattack here. Still no Spore at the third, so the oracles just dive on in. They're going to be able to pick off 2 drones, but only 2 drones. They're not going to get much else. Solar, the world is his oyster. He can keep on spreading this creep. There is no observer. We have oracles for Revelation, but that's the only way to clean this up. And again, Solar, he can just chill. He can drone, throw down a Baneling Nest. He has to be careful not to over-drone, because if he does over-drone, then he's going to die to the all-in. Because I'm pretty sure herO is not going to be expanding from here. He's just going to go for a 2-base all-in Hail Mary play. So Solar just has to be careful here. 66 drones is a good drone count to stop at. And we're droning up to 67, but it looks like we're done from here. So there we go. Solar isn't going to be over-droning. He's not going to throw away his lead. From here, he's going to be rebuilding his Ling Roach army. Once again, diving on this third base, forces another cancel. And with this Baneling Nest, he can go for Ling Bane Roach Ravager. A very, very solid mid-game composition here for Zerg. We have 2 observers. We make these 2 observers, and eventually we're going to be able to clean up all this creep. Unfortunately, herO is forced to take this third base, which is a little bit more exposed. It's on the low ground. It is a little bit more vulnerable as a result. Up! Oh, that was so close. And Solar is going to be getting ready for his next push. He's just getting, you know, saturated here on his 4 bases, waiting for a couple of upgrades. I'm sure he's just waiting for Baneling Speed of all things to finish up, and then he can just push in with this massive army. Oh, we do have some sentries, we do have some force field that's going to be able to cut up the army, but we have Ravagers to deal with that as well. Doesn't matter how many force fields you have, they are going to go down. Ooh. Pretty efficient fight overall for herO, but again, we are running out of energy. A couple more force fields are thrown down. Baneling Speed is still not done, so the Banelings are trying to waddle on in. Oh no! And they connect. They do find all of the sentries. The sentries go down. The queens get dropped on top of the oracles. And the oracles are going to get sniped from the skies, and now there is nothing remaining here. Solar takes the series 3-1, and he will be this week's KSL champion. Oh. GG, well played. Solar does it. herO having a little bit too much fun this series. Even here in game 4, I was like, mate, he's going up to 4 oracles. He's crazy. Oh my god, a lot more focused on just harassing, on being aggressive, and Yeah, not so much on scouting, but shout out to Solar. We glossed over it, but Solar did Maynard drones over to the third to make it look like he was droning up the third base, to make it look like he was macroing, when really he wasn't, when really he wasn't even saturated at his natural. herO didn't know. herO, it was almost as if he was being baited because there was never a spore at the third, so the oracles kept going to the third and the main, and they never touched the natural, and because of that, he wasn't ready for the all-in, he wasn't ready for the push. He wasn't expecting the mass amount of lings and roaches to come at him the way that they did. And yeah, GG, very well played by Solar to kind of turn the tables and be the aggressor this series, this game, as opposed to the rest of the series. And congratulations, my condolences to herO. He put up a good fight. We saw, again, a lot of variety out of herO this series. A lot of different styles, a lot of different openers. But with mixed success overall, just because Solar is such a solid player overall. Oh, GG. GG, well played. And yeah, what a series. What a series. A little fast one on him, exactly. Wardy was saying the Stargate shouldn't show what's building. That would be crazy. Oh my god. That would be insane, actually. Yeah. That would give Protoss quite a bit of an edge overall. Yeah, I think I don't know how I feel about that. I think that would mean that scouting for Zerg would have to be that much more committed, because essentially you would have to scout either in time to see the unit coming out, or in time, or be able to stick around to be able to see the first unit coming out. So yeah, that would be a drastic change, to be honest. Would it be a balance change to force Zerg to scout even harder? Maybe you can make an argument that maybe Zerg scouting is too powerful in this matchup. I'm sure an argument can be made. I don't really have strong feelings, but I understand like the reasoning for it. I understand the reasoning. I think part of me feels like it's too powerful just because Protoss already have a lot of versatility in their openers. Like we saw it here. Like herO went for a different like overall build every single game, right? Like Protoss do have a lot, and there's more that he didn't do. You know, we didn't see any robo openers, which could go into fast disruptor drops. We didn't see any like all-in Glaive Adept builds. We didn't see like Phoenix first or Void Ray first either. Like the reality is that Protoss do have a lot available to them. So denying scouting, I don't know if that's necessary here in this matchup, but you know, I'm sure it could be debated. Yeah, GG. Well played to Solar, well played. Congratulations, and what a tournament it was today. A lot of really good games, to be honest, and yeah. It was a lot of fun. We mainly casted ZVZs earlier. You know, unfortunately, all the Zergs were kind of piled into one portion of the brackets. But a lot of good games regardless. And I hope everyone in the chat enjoyed themselves overall. I hope everyone had a good time. Today, I was forced to solo cast the entire thing. I know I'm not the best solo caster. I'm working on it, but I do best when vibing with a co-caster. Yaku is busy with his studies and he wasn't available today. He has classes, unfortunately, and Asher wasn't available today either. Usually I at least cast the semifinals or the finals with Asher. Thankfully there was no Terran. The last two KSLs, it was a TVT, so I feel like Asher was pretty necessary there. But there was no Terran, so I didn't feel like I was I had to like fill for time, or I was like lapsing in any kind of TVT knowledge, which I do lack in. And that's why both Yaku and Asher are really good kind of complements for me, because they can fill in that Terran knowledge that I can lack at times, because they're both Terran mains. But yeah, we didn't really cast too many Terrans today. So it was okay. And I will be casting again with Yaku and Asher in the coming days. Unfortunately, they both weren't available today. Chase wasn't available either. Chase is another regular co-caster here. Chase is actually traveling at the moment. He's actually in Brisbane, because there is a LAN happening in Australia over if you're in Australia, just letting you know that there is a LAN happening tonight over the weekend as well in Brisbane. Chase is going to be there, Chappie is going to be there, a lot of the probe is going to be there, a lot of Australian probes, a lot of Australian pros. So if you're local to the Brisbane area, there is going to be a big LAN, so make sure you're a part of it. I won't be there. I can't afford to travel, but everyone else will be there. So yeah. Be sure to tune into that. I believe there is going to be a live stream for it later on in a couple of hours, actually. I don't think it's started. Hold on. I don't know when it starts, actually. But I'm sure in a couple of hours, the LAN will be live. Regardless, hope everyone had a great time tonight. If you enjoyed the tournament, !KSL in the chat. I'll just be throwing down that command there. There you go. !KSL. If you want to support this tournament, there is a Patreon page, and this tournament is funded by the community, for the community, to support the Korean scene. If you haven't heard, the Korean scene is a little bit smudge right now. They did get some dire news about GSL. GSL cut the for this year by 80%. Because of that, specifically a lot of the mid-tier and low-tier Koreans are going to suffer, because they justified competing by the money that they were making in GSL. You know, GSL of course pays out to top 28. Used to be top 32, then afterwards top 28. And that was what they could kind of rely upon for a while. But now, because of the reduced funding, it's a lot more top heavy. And now, if you're in Korea, you can only really be full-time if you're the best of the best. You know, if you're Maru, herO, Dark, Solar, right? That's kind of your reliance a lot more on doing well in GSL and your team's salary. But even then, I think people were crunching the numbers, and you would have to win 3 GSLs to make the same money that you would make by winning 1 GSL last year, for example. Like, it's... And there's no super tournaments either. I don't think there's a super tournament this year either. So the Korean scene did take a really big blow this year, and that's why the KSL exists. You know, that's why these tournaments like KSL or the Pigfest or Wardy's doing his own league, like all these kind of grassroots tournaments have popped up to try and support the Korean scene, or the scene in general, as much as we can. So this year is going to be the year of the community. It's going to be the year of everyone coming together to try and make this scene viable without the support of Blizzard, as Blizzard did pull funding, essentially. Before this, in the contract, Blizzard did provide the prize pool for a lot of these tournaments, for GSL, for Super Tournament, for the ESL Pro Tour. Now this year, Blizzard has cut funding entirely. Blizzard aren't giving any money to Africa or to ESL for the tournaments. So now all the money, all the prize money is coming from the organizers themselves, not from Blizzard. So because of that, that's why, you know, everyone's coming together to try and support where we can and try and, you know, keep StarCraft going, and, you know, for good reason, right? Like, we're all here because we love StarCraft and we love watching StarCraft, and, you know, it's been around for 10 plus years, for over 10 years now, 13 years. And it's a great esport to be a part of. And, you know, it's a shame that it's not getting the support from the publisher that maybe it deserves. But that's where we step in, you know, not just me, but, you know, the people in the Patreon, the people watching as well, the casters, the community casters, all that good stuff. So consider supporting on Patreon. It's a really good endeavor. On top of that, Dave and Chicken Man, they are the organizers of the Patreon and of the event. They also did announce as well that they are going to be hosting a separate tournament. Because they're making so much money on KSL, because the Patreon is getting funded like crazy. there's a lot of support on the Patreon for KSL. Because they're getting so much, they're setting some of that money aside, and they're going to make a separate league-style tournament instead. I say league-style, like, you know, a group stage with a bracket. I believe it's going to be a $3,000 event, which is a decent amount of money. 3,000 plus, because obviously you can still support, and the prize pool can grow even larger. KSL is still going to continue. There's still going to be a KSL, but with any spare money, again, they're going to be hosting some of these other individual events, individual major events. So shout out to Chicken Man and Dave Tesla for making that happen. And again, check out the Patreon if you want to be a part of it. You don't have to donate a lot. You know, every little bit counts. It all adds up in the end. It all does add up. So massive shout out to Dave Tesla and Chicken Man, and also, you know, for them to allow community casters. We wouldn't be able to cast it if they wanted to be greedy about it. They could just kind of, you know, close it off to just themselves and like hog all the viewers. But because it's so open to the community, because it's so about supporting the Korean Starcraft scene, you know, it's open to so many different casters, and as a result, we even had some guest casters today. We had Scarlet and Cats. Scarlet and Cats, they haven't casted before, but they casted today. So yeah, it's really cool to see all that attention and so many more eyes as well, because, you know, obviously they got a lot of viewers, but so many more eyes as well on the event itself. So yeah, shout out to them. Ooh. So yeah, do consider it. Meanwhile, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thank you so much for the support. If you want to support the CranKy Ducklings, we are going to be hosting our own regular tournaments. If you haven't heard, we are going to be hosting three returning events: Grand Platypus Open, Sparkling Tuna Cup, and the Tenacious Turtle Tussle. We did announce them last week, and brackets are going to be posted, I think, today. I think later on tonight, we're going to be, sorry, tomorrow. We're going to be posting the brackets, and we're going to be announcing the return of our events. If you want to support our events, then !Patreon in the chat. We have a pretty similar setup as well, where you can support us on Patreon, and all that money goes towards the events that we organize and the events that we host and growing them. For the time being, our events are going to be fortnightly or bi-weekly. If we get enough support on Patreon, then they can be weekly. So likewise, it's on you guys in the chat for our events to be a little bit more regular and get a little bit more support and grow in general. So we're trying to do our part. Oh boy. So a lot going on in the StarCraft scene and in the StarCraft space. So with that, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thank you so much for the support. You can follow me at light_VIP on Twitch. I do stream throughout the week, and I do try to be regular with my own solo content, but that's just ladder sessions, basically. If you want to tune into my ladder sessions, you can follow me on Twitch. Otherwise, if you are only interested in our casting, then check us out here on Twitch. On YouTube, we have a YouTube channel, we have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have a Discord server as well, where you can interact with us outside of these streams. So you can follow us all over the place if you want to support us. Oh, this game. Oh, true. If you want the replays of the KSL, Patreon. Patrons get replays. There you go. So all you have to do is be a part of the Patreon, and you will get replay packs. I do see someone asking about it in the chat. Hold on. !KSL. There you go. So yeah. With that, thank you so much. Our next broadcast is gonna be tomorrow. Let me just quickly double check. Yes. So tomorrow evening, we're going to be live in just over 24 hours with OSC King of the Hill. So if you are interested in some more of our casting in OSC King of the Hill, which is a unique King of the Hill style tournament, tomorrow at 10 p.m. AEDT. We are going to be live once again. I'm going to be casting alongside Asher. So I will have my lovely co-caster with me. Till then, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. We will see you guys tomorrow. Ciao. Bye.